speaking of time, I start from slide. This is a photograph of my very early artwork, probably 2005. It's called Ink Ice. It's a cubic ice sculpture with ink in the ice, and we put outdoor, and the cubic melting for 3 days. So this cubic eventually disappeared into the liquid on the ground, and eventually all the liquid disappeared. So everything disappeared through the whole 3 days. And during the process, you can see how nature force changed this cubic. Next one. In 2006, we did a proposal called Beijing 2050. It's about visionary future of Beijing. In this project, there are three proposals. One is the Tiananmen Square become the largest green public space in the city center. The other one is floating large architecture above the CBD, all the towers. And the third one, which is what we see here, is a bubble. Actually, we have a lot of a bubble like this. We put them into the old Wutong area. Actually, this is not far from here. It's a toilet. Because in the Wutong, you have a lot of public toilets. Inside courtyard, you don't have a lot of toilets. So the idea is to provide the space, functional space, the residents they need, so that people who live there, they don't have to leave. Because right now the situation is that they're being replaced by another class, and they have to leave the city center. So this you can see the contrast between new and old. But for me, this in 2006, that was everyone talking about Empire, grand building in Beijing, talking about Olympics. But for me, this is like a very personal, emotional reaction to the neighborhood. Next one. And almost same time, we did a museum in Erdos, in Inner Mongolia. In this picture, you don't see the surrounding, but it's actually it's like a disaster. A lot of modern buildings, surrounded, and just like another maybe one of the 100 new towns around China. And Erdos is famous to be called a ghost town because they build a lot of buildings over there, really occupied. So for us, in this project, we try to throw in this abstract bubble to just foster an interior space, and then we create this desert-like landscape, public space around the building, which has become super successful actually. A lot of people come here, they don't know what's in this museum, but they like to hang out around the building. I mean, for a ghost town, that's successful. But for me, the present, the idea of present is absent in this project. You can see very futuristic unknown object. Inside the space is also very unknown. And the landscape feels like from thousands of years ago. Next one. This project is not in Asia, it's in Rome, Italy. We've been working on this for 2 years. It's a very interesting situation that in Italy, people treat tradition very differently from Beijing. So you cannot do anything new. You cannot touch anything like old buildings. But in this project, we were allowed to renovate old buildings. It was actually a modern building. We decided to only keep the structure, the column, the slab, and we took the facade off. So we basically opened the building, then we insert a new living element into this shell. Then we can have a lot of leftover gardens and balconies around the building. So this traditional European street usually is about facade. Here, this building facade is here, so you have a contemporary life become the interface between the building and the city. So I think this idea probably is also super important for Beijing. When we talking about reservation, talking about how to cherish tradition, we must also respect modern life. I mean, we don't preserve a city like Beijing. So I think this building doesn't try to attack the old, also doesn't try to pretend to make a new old building, but it's trying to be honest about how modern people live. Next one. And this project we're working on right now is a huge project. Actually, we're working on many projects like this scale, but not in today's presentation because every time people scare about this, large buildings, large city, but this happened a lot in China. So we must talk about this. In this project, we create a valley space and we make the buildings like mountains, and people can really climb the mountain and have a lot of garden, terrace, bridges, waterfall in this complex. And nothing looks traditional, but also can maybe create a space, urban space that's different from typical CBD, typical this city centers, which only about isolated skyscrapers. So here we call it Shanxi City. There's some new idea we're working on right now in the studio. We're talking about density, talking about a vertical structure. At the same time, we try to find an atmosphere that in the modern high-density urban center, you can feel the atmosphere about nature, about public life. That's all.